the international charitable organization, Salvation Army is trying to work a lot on helping marginalized communities to bring social changes and positive changes in their lives. So this is one of the projects. So the purpose of House Plus is not only a shelter. It's really providing a place where they can rest and then get peace of mind as if they're establishing their home in a place, not only a shelter. We could call this project underneath this community housing movement. It's really a trifecta collaboration. So one is the private, so it's the developer who donated this property for 2 years for people to live. It's a non-profit organization like Salvation Army, HKCSS, who's running and also managing it, and it's also the government who's backing this project up. So this is what we call trisector, I should say, trisector. It's cross-sector project, and Housing Plus is underneath this community housing movement. So this concept is really from Europe or American concept of kind of community building by mixing background, different people of different background, mixed age, and mixed talent. So they build this community that is vibrant and is helpful to all parties. So it's not like, oh, this is elderly only, or this is only for kids, but it's a mixed community. The social living is under this framework. Of course, basically they provide a place for them to live more comfortably. So it's a safe environment for them to stay. And then also sharing spaces. So by sharing spaces, you have access to a bigger space than versus your family is only having this much space and there's nothing else. And by providing different kind of services, they help the people who live in these spaces to gain ability and different kind of skills that help them transition into when they go to public housing. Then they will know how to plan different things. Maybe they've never had a budget in their life or things like that. So they help them gain those important skills when they become more independent. And also before, even they were living in subdivided housing, it's really cramped. But most likely they also feel very isolated and never really have to deal with the neighbors. They just close the doors and that's their own place. So now they're working a lot on building that relationship among the neighbors and hoping that they will understand that they're living in this space, so that they have to also learn how to work with the neighbors and maintain a good relationships with them. And last but not least, by involving these people and giving them ability, capability, and enabling them, empowering them, how will the entire community change? They're really trying to build this community that is really trans-generation, so it's not only one single generation, and they also want to work with a lot of families, the youth, especially a lot of the single parent families, because their needs is higher. So they are trying to build that so that they can share the skills, share the interests, and build a really resilient community through that. Because as they mentioned, the youth will be the main driver for these, so they're really working a lot with the youth. They engage the youth to be part of the planning party, so they're not just like a ticking order and go out and do it, but more like they empower themselves and then they can move on to do stuff. And then during this 2 hours, the youth are actually one of the main service target as well. So they're trying to help them kind of become a better person, no matter physically, emotionally, or spiritually. So as mentioned, youth is a huge target of them. Many of you may not need the qualification before that they mentioned, but they will use the working holiday as a concept. So they would, in exchange for cheaper rent, they'll have to co-live with this family. They will serve as a supporter for these families that they're going to co-live with. In exchange, they will have their separate room is their so their own room to live, and then they also enjoy a much cheaper rent. The qualification for them is around 20,000 income per month. So as long as they don't exceed that, and also the assets should be less than $350,000. So they don't, as long as they don't have assets over that Hong Kong dollar amount, then they're good to go. So the previous advertisement is targeting youth, and this advertisement is targeting family. And Erin asked, how would they translate? How would that? This is the size. So 500 to 600 square feet is the size. And if they translate into the subdivided housing, it'll be much more expensive. And the advertisement says it's going to be newly renovated. You'll be sharing the living room, kitchen, and bathroom. but you enjoy a individual lockable room to your family. It's very well lit, as you can see, and then it has a very good school network. So that's especially attractive to families with children. And the rent is based on your income. Around 25% of your income will be going towards the rent. Just keep in mind, these means a lot because when you're living in subdivided housing, most of these are not available. So what distinguishes this house class from other community housing projects is the Wi-Fi, because the Salvation Army negotiated this deal with the wireless iCable, with iCable, a provider. So this is what separates them from other shared housing.
So this is a very interesting government project. Our new chief executive, when she carried on, when she take up that role, it's only 2 years ago, right? when she become the first our chief executive in Hong Kong, and this is something that she wanted to do very quickly. So that was October or November in 2017, 14 months ago, when she talked about this project in her speech. But this is almost 80% full already. So within a very short period of time, the policy have been implemented, the pace have been cleared. These guys come in and really help and actually get the things going on top. This is unheard of in Hong Kong.